Hey everybody, welcome back to Build at Home. I'm your host, Brittany Jones Cooper, coming to you from my home in New York City. Today, I'm excited to be chatting with actor Victor Rasuk about his new show, The Baker and the Beauty. But first, I want to remind you guys to visit nokidhungry.org. Due to school cancellations because of COVID-19, 574 million school meals have been missed. So if you're looking for some ways to help out these communities, visit nokidhungry.org. Now I want to welcome Victor Rasuk. Hey, Victor, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I quarantine at home just like everybody else, trying to make the best of it, trying to make sense of it all, and hoping that this passes by sooner than later, huh?
Yeah, where's home for you?
I live in Los Angeles.
Gotcha. So, how long have you been at home, and who are you with, and just what has life been like for the last couple of weeks?
So, we had just finished The Baker and the Beauty. We had just wrapped like about a week before the coronavirus became before it came here and like we started hearing about it.
Mhm.
So I had already been gone for like 5 months shooting the show. So, I think we were all pretty beat, like just from like the long hours and shooting a TV show.
Mhm.
So I was already planning on sleeping as soon as I got home. But then the coronavirus thing hit, and I definitely slept a lot. But I was also able to do some stuff that I love to do, and I didn't get to do, which was I love to read and catch up on
Mm.
TV shows, which was the Tiger King has been the top right now that I'm watching. That is absolutely insane. Those characters are like on another level.
Can we talk
And then
about Carol Baskin for a second?
dude, by the way, you can't give too much away because I'm still on. I think I'm on episode 5.
Oh, okay. I won't say
I mean, so
anything.
I saw no, so I mean, so I saw
You
the
see, yeah.
secret. Yeah, yeah, that's the name of the episode. It was The Secret, which was about her mostly and the husband conspiracy
Hmm.
thing. And then another thing that I discovered is that I've been playing this new app called House Party, which is kind of like Zoom, except that you get to play games with people that your friends and family, and you play games like Pictionary or like trivial games. But like the only thing is that I'm from New York and my friends and family are from New York too. So when you put a bunch of people who are from New York playing games, the competition levels, like everybody's trying to like talk over everyone else, and then before it gets fun, it's just like the wives and the girlfriends don't want to play, and then we go back to words with friends and call it a day.
House Party. That's the name of it, though.
Yeah, yeah. House party.
I've
It's
I
pretty
have
fun.
not heard of that. I don't know if my family is also very competitive, but I think we might have to try that. That sounds dope.
It's really fun. It's really fun. You just got to make sure everybody can hear each other because like everybody's trying to talk over each other.
Yeah, and you mentioned reading and watching. So what have you been reading?
So I just started a book that a castmate of mine recommended called Siddhartha.
Oh.
And I understand why she wanted me to read it. I think because there's a lot of parallels to what Siddhartha is going through that I'm going through. It's just kind of about discovering yourself and kind of like the not wanting the tangibles in life and sort of looking
Mm.
within. And I think now with everything that's going on with coronavirus, I just the parallels are just kind of trippy.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a really good read because I think a lot of people right now are sort of having to look within or just, really do some introspection. It's sort of a forced time of introspection for people.
Yeah, and I think, look, I'm not saying, of course, this is a terrible, terrible thing that's going on, but in a lot of ways, I feel like we, as just as the world, not even our society,
Hmm.
I'm not talking about any specific country. I just think as the world, I think we just needed a pause. It's
Hmm.
unfortunate that it had to come under these circumstances, but I'm also the type of person, if you know me, I always try to look at the light in things
Hmm.
and try to be positive. But I think that we needed a pause. So, I'm hoping that this passes just as much as everybody else, but I
Yeah.
think we needed a pause.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful way to look at it. And honestly, Victor, I've been trying to do the same thing because you have to find the silver lining, right? And you have to find a way to stay motivated and stay connected. So I think that's a beautiful way to look at it.
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned your co-host suggested that book, and this is a co-host from The Beauty and the Baker, I presume. Or sorry, co-star.
Yeah, the co-star, the Baker and the Beauty.
Baker
Everybody
and the
says
Beauty.
Beauty. Everybody says Beauty and the
Oh, did
Baker
I
because the
switch it?
Beauty.
Oh, I messed it up.
Oh, don't worry about it. It happens. It happens a lot more often than you think. Yeah, her name is Michelle Ventimilla. She plays my ex-girlfriend on the Baker and the Beauty, and she recommended the book right when we were wrapping the show, and so I've been reading it.
Yeah. So let's talk about the show. What is the premise? I checked out the first two episodes and I love it, but share the premise with the viewers.
So The Baker and the Beauty is a real heartfelt romantic comedy that is centered around a charming family whose eldest son, the Baker, has a serendipitous encounter with a international superstar that turns into a wild Miami night. So essentially, the show follows them as they figure out if compromising their lifestyles for love is really worth it.
And you're the lead in this show. So
I'm the
what is
Baker,
that
yeah.
yeah, so what has that experience been like for you as an actor?
The being the lead of a show.
Yeah, this is a big ABC network show. There's a lot of press around it. You are the baker. Just what has this experience been like for you so far?
Listen, if people who know my story, Victor Rasuk's personal story, I'm just this street kid from New York who had an interest in acting, and that turned into a dream, and I pursued it. And, I did everything that every actor, when they want to act and make that as their living, I did exactly what everybody else did. My beginnings are super, super humble beginnings. And I feel like this role was like the perfect and dream role in so many ways because there's so many parallels between my character on this show who meets this international superstar, and this guy's a blue collar guy, right?
Hmm.
And so I just felt like when I got this role, of course, the work part of it is grueling. It's 14-hour days. You're in every scene. It's definitely something that I feel like with my fortunate career that I've had, that I've been prepared for this moment. And I'm super happy and grateful that not only was I blessed with this amazing cast, but I had the withal to take this experience and really run with it in a way that I always pictured when I first came into the business. So that's I guess that's the that was the long answer to your question.
No, that's the answer I wanted. I mean, it's so cool. And Daniel is the character you play. Um, Tell me about just getting to know him and how you sort of brought that character to life.
Daniel, like I said, he's a blue collar guy who works at his bakery. He does right by his family. He does what he's told. He's a good son. He's a good brother. I feel like those were a lot of the qualities that I had personally, just because I'm also Daniel. My character is the eldest of his siblings. I'm also the eldest of my siblings,
Mm,
so I understood the challenges and the expectations of being the eldest sibling. So that was definitely one of the things that I related to, and it was also a challenge because you come to a set or a job, in my case, an acting job, and you just never know the caliber of actors that you're going to work with. You're always surprised. The
hmm.
person who you think is not going to be great ends up being great, or vice versa. And in this case, from the top of the call sheet to the bottom of the call sheet, right? In terms of the actors, everybody was amazing, and I always knew I had to bring my A game because I knew that I had to be spontaneous. I knew I had to be on top of my lines. I knew I had to know what was going on before and after and during the scene. So for me, it was just like it was literally a dream job, but it had its challenges. And thankfully, like I said, I think it was a sign that it came at the time of my life and in my career when it came. I think I was most prepared. I think if this opportunity came earlier, I would have. I would have. I can't curse on this, but like I just would have squandered the opportunity.
By the way, you can curse on this if you want to. It's the internet.
Oh, I would have shitted on this opportunity just because just like I would have been younger and like the experience I wouldn't have had it.
Yeah. So, has what take me through a day on set, or scene you had to shoot that really forced you to go into some reserves or really challenged you as an actor?
Listen, the long 14-hour days, like you just know you got to get these scenes down.
Hmm.
Anybody who's an actor knows what these days are. Anybody who works on a set knows what I'm talking about. The heat in Puerto Rico, which is where we shot the show takes
Hmm.
place in Miami, but we shot in Puerto Rico. The heat in Puerto Rico was like heat that I've never really experienced. Actually, that's not true. I experienced it when I shot Jack Ryan season 2. We were shooting, the show takes place in Venezuela,
Hmm.
but we shot it in the jungles of Colombia, and that was pretty much an inferno. But Puerto Rico is pretty close to it, so there was that. There was constant, because when you're shooting a TV show or a film, you're always shooting it out of order. It's just always depending on the location or what actor is there.
Hmm.
So for me, I just always had to be on like knowing what my arc was and what I wanted as a character in every single scene, every single setup. And that's challenging because like the brain power that you need to like always just be on, like it's just draining. I'm not complaining. That was the challenge. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I mean, that's why I asked when you're the lead on a show, you're in every scene and you don't get a lot of downtime. But like you
No.
said, you're lucky in that this cast is so dynamic, which is so important to this story because it's about this close-knit Cuban family in Miami, like you mentioned.
Mhm.
So take me through why or what was appealing about a story that showed this family, this Cuban family in Miami, and them running a business together and just what that their lives are like together.
Listen, I think Baker and the Beauty is something that is not on television right now. I think that, without sounding cheesy, I honestly feel like it really is a sweet escape. I think that the way how I love to describe this show is that it's a modern day take on a fairy tale storyline. And like, who doesn't like that, especially at times like this where, we're dealing with this crisis around the world. I think we all need something that's funny, light, family oriented. And this show delivers on that. And I think it delivers on that because it hits on all the universal themes that I think that is on the forefront of everybody's mind right now, which is family, love,
Hmm.
hibernation. So that's why I think the show is super interesting, and I think it'll be really appealing to people right now.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't go wrong with a romantic comedy. And what I really
No.
liked about this show is usually romantic comedies are movies, but this is a series, and so you just get more time to sort of watch these two characters fall in love and play that dynamic. It's just a really, like you said, a really fun show to watch.
And also, you also not only these two main characters, the Baker and the Beauty, but then you get to learn and see more of my family, the Garcia family, which I think is going to be the huge surprise of this show. I think it is the huge surprise of the show. I think, people when they watch it, they're going to fall in love with this family because, like I said, it doesn't matter what ethnic background you're from, it doesn't matter where you live, you will relate to this family one way or another because of everything that each person in the family is going through. Someone will relate to that specific person, and it's so multi-layered. The characters and the actors are so good on this show that, like, I'm just super geeked for people to see it.
I love it. And I checked out the first two episodes and I was like, oh, this is dope. Like I could have watched
Oh, do you
more.
see that? You
So
see the squirrel? You see the squirrel down there?
we've got a
That's
nature show
good.
happening right now.
That's so funny. Well, that's why I love my place because, anyway.
That's fantastic. I've got nothing but just like delivery guys outside of my door. I'm in New York. There's nothing outside.
Yeah, that's why I moved out of New York. I wanted this.
You wanted some nature.
I wanted
Uh,
nature.
and before we go, I have to ask, since this is a
Yeah.
romantic comedy, are you a rom-com guy? Or have you been watching any rom-coms during your social distancing?
Sorry, the squirrel's tripping me out. It's so funny. I see it all the time, but I just never seen it on my camera. Anyway,
Have you wait, really quick. Let's go
yeah,
back to the
sorry.
squirrel. Have you named the squirrel?
Because there's a family of them that come by and they walk on this. There's like a railing right here, and so
Oh.
actually, recently, what the squirrels don't surprise me. What surprised me recently is that we've been seeing crows, and I've never seen crows here, and we've been seeing, but that wasn't a crow. There is no names on it. I mean, I love my nature, but I don't like name the animals.
All right.
Um,
Missed
but by the
opportunity.
way, no, 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 no. That's not a missed opportunity. You just gave me an idea. I got so much time at the crib right now that that's exactly what I'm gonna start doing is naming my animals.
Why not?
I see where your head's at.
I
All
named
right,
my
so
house plant. I mean, this is Diana Ross.
I have a friend that does that. That names her plants.
I know. I got bored.
Yeah, I'm gonna start naming the animals. What was your question? Oh,
Who
about
knows?
rom-coms.
Rom-coms.
Yeah. So, yeah, I am a fan. I actually, when I read The Baker and the Beauty, it reminded me right off the bat of that Julia Roberts movie, Notting Hill. I feel like
Yes.
we get compared to Notting Hill, and by the way, which is a complete compliment because I love that movie. And I think that movie's so funny and so good. But yeah, I do like rom-coms a lot. I
Yeah.
think I think I think they're good for the soul. I think especially if they're done right.
That's the thing. They got to be done right. You got to buy that chemistry, and
Yeah.
I buy the chemistry in the Baker and the Beauty, and that's why it works. And I can't wait for more people to check it out. Congrats on the show, Victor. It's really great. And it comes out soon, right? It comes out on Monday.
It comes out Monday, April 13th on ABC at 10 p.m.
All right, guys, make sure you check it out. Victor, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.
All right, you guys too. Thank you.